Welcome to my channel one more week. This week we're gonna be making a pork Wellington. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe, click the bell and share with your friends. We are going to start by peeling 6 garlic cloves. We are going to clean and rough chop a whole onion. We're going to add our onions and garlic to the blender. If you have a food processor, you can use that too. We're going to slice a pound of mushrooms. Add the mushrooms to the blender. Now we can start our blender. When it starts looking like this, we can stop the blender. Add 3 tablespoons of butter to a hot pan. Once the butter has melted, we're gonna add our mixture of mushrooms, onions and garlic that we made, and we're gonna cook it for about 5 to 6 minutes. We're gonna add 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Add black pepper to your taste. We are going to make sure to mix it well so everything cooks evenly. We're gonna add our pork loin to a bowl so we can season it. We're gonna start by adding 1 tablespoon of adobo goya on every side of the pork. Half a tablespoon of paprika, half a tablespoon of Italian seasoning, now we can add 1 tablespoon of olive oil. We're gonna wrap the pork loin to make sure every inch is covered with our seasonings. We're gonna add olive oil to the saute pan. As the oil is warm, we're gonna sear our pork loin to make sure we don't lose any of the juices of the pork loin. Make sure to flip the meat. A trick is to add plastic wrap on the surface where we're gonna open our puff pastry so when we close the Wellington it's easier for us. In this case we're using a large sheet of puff pastry. If you have 2 small ones you can add whatever you need. We're gonna add prosciutto all across our puff pastry. We're going to spread our mushroom mixture. Just make sure you don't cover the edges. Now we can add the pork loin. If you don't like pork, you can do this with beef too. Once we have all our ingredients in, we can start closing our puff pastry. We're gonna make sure we close it as tight as possible. We're going to set up the oven at 400 degrees for 45 minutes. We need to separate 2 egg whites from the egg yolks. Make sure to mix the 2 egg yolks well. Now we can remove the Wellington from the plastic wrap and add it to the tray that we'll be using to bake it. With a brush, we're gonna brush the egg yolks to the puff pastry. The reason of using the egg yolks is to get a beautiful golden color on the puff pastry. To give it a little design, we're gonna use the back of a knife. We're gonna go across and side to side. You can use your imagination and do whatever design you prefer to do. Also, you can use pieces of puff pastry and add it to the top of the Wellington. Now it's time to bake for 45 minutes at 400 degrees. After waiting 45 minutes, now it's time to plate and enjoy this delicious dish. I hope you have enjoyed this dish, which is a different way to make a pork loin. Thanks for checking out my channel, and if you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe, click the bell and share it with your friends. I will see you next week for a new video.